We should have gone to med school. Can you imagine us in med school? That'd be cool.
Would it?
Okay, so speaking of med school, you got a jam room.
I love jam rooms.
You got a jam room, and we all have jam rooms. It's something you're supposed to have as a functional guitar player that wants to have friends, because that's the only way we can entice our friends over.
Yes,
it's true. Cool toys and a place to play.
A place to play.
This is the man cave for musicians, and we love them.
Yes.
So what do you gotta have? What's the things that we want to hear from you guys in a little bit? We're going to talk about things that we think you gotta have in your man cave. So number one, I'm gonna beer.
It's very important to have beer.
Yeah, we'll get back to beer. I mean, like, obviously, let's start with you gotta have the amps.
You gotta have amps.
You gotta have the instruments.
We gotta have instruments.
You gotta have the but then you gotta have wall hangers everywhere. There's wall hangers all around here, I think too.
At the very least, you gotta have the multi-stands.
The multi-stands. We have multiple multi-stands.
I like my multi-stand, my little 7-guitar stand in my...
You need to have that. That's huge. You have to have like probably a Gallon Kruger bass amp, and I'm guessing there's a PV sound system of some sort.
One can only hope.
A classic 30 is usually somewhere stuck in the corner with like cobwebs on it. It depends what kind of music you are. So let's say you're a worship band.
Okay.
So you're probably going to most likely you're going to have PRSs.
Or Gretches.
Or Gretches right now. And I'm hoping the Fenders come back. So there's a few like that. That Lincoln Brewster Telly was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or Strat.
Yeah, Strat. I was thinking Lincoln Brewster Strat. That's true.
The Telly was the Spoon guitar player, which was really cool. Totally came out at the same exact time. So my mind just went there. But anyway, so let's get back to what you got. So yeah, let's say if you're good, like, if you're like a worship band, like kind of getting in your jam room, like a full setup of PRS stuff would be pretty legit. Like if you had like the PRS amps.
Well, I was gonna say amps and all.
I think that'd be like go deep, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have the Strymons.
The trio, the big. Well, now it's gotten. They have more big ones now, right? So
yeah, it's confusing.
It's changed. I liked it when it was just like you had the big three and that was it. Bam.
Big sky. You have to have a big sky. It's like a
big sky. The timeline
has reverb. You have to have a big sky, which makes no sense to me.
Your amp does not have the cloud algorithm or whatever.
Is that the Angel Swell?
I think so.
Is that what I call it? Okay,
let's. The different ones.
Let's say you're you're a shredder band.
Yes.
Like you guys like to shred, or like you guys you like Iron Maiden and stuff, and some of the classic metals, and you got to have Marshalls.
Yes.
Like walls and stacks of Marshalls, and you got to have hopefully some 7 strings too. Not for Maiden and stuff, but like
need some pointy guitars.
Okay, but now I feel like we're getting too detail oriented.
We are.
Let's go back to like the bare essentials.
You need cool signs.
That's the most important. You need neon.
You need neon would be awesome.
You need neon, like the stuff like at guitar shops. Like seriously, go to your local guitar shops. Sometimes we get things like that cycle through. Like the manufacturers send us stuff. We get Taylor signs. They somewhat ended up catching on fire every once in a while. So we would give those. I'm kidding. We didn't give them away. We had to throw those away. But sometimes there's the shops will recycle signs that come through. And like, hey, we're not going to use this sign anymore. We get lots of swag. We got lots of like PRS swag at one point when John Mayer came out with the Silver Sky
posters and junk.
Yeah, and like the thick ones that are like just for stores.
Yeah.
And we get those cool cardboard cutout thingies and like
this little
where you can put John Mayer, like you can pop your head through. But in general, neon sign is a must, I think, or any wood type of sign.
Hey, wood signs are cool.
Now, the more important things we were talking about before with the beer.
You gotta have a fridge.
Yes. Now that's a mini fridge. You can have like a kegerator. You can have like the little Marshall amp fridge.
I was gonna say if you had the Marshall fridge.
I think that's just sort of starting though. I think if you're gonna go hard and deep in this man cave jam room, you need to have a full-fledged bar.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I mean, that'd be awesome if you got room.
Because I mean, well, you've been to Josh's house up in Sanford. That was insane. He has his whole living room as a man cave. It's got a full I think it's like a 30-foot long bar. No, maybe a 20-foot long bar. Huge. With a built-in stage. This is the living room. This is not the man cave is the living room.
Yeah.
And like it has a second floor too where people can like watch on the balcony if they want, and a driving range in the backyard. Perhaps the greatest house I've ever been to in my life.
It's a pretty great house. No children there.
That's why this life can be afforded of joy and happiness.
There are no children.
Any of you young musicians watching, you're like, we can't wait to have our first bundle of joy. Like, just to think again to the man cave living room that you're giving up.
It's true. You got to pick your priorities.
With active power strips on stage that these kids cannot be near. It's amazing. Hundreds of watts just streaming through of sound power. Oh, people. Yeah, so I think a bar would be pretty awesome.
A bar would be awesome.
Yeah, because
There are some guys I jam with, and I won't name their names, but the drummer has his whole little basement is a jam room bar, and it's very enticing.
See, I think that's great.
It is great.
And then even some of the guys I work with in the guitar business, like as far as not just the guys at shops, but the guys that work at the manufacturers, from Fender to Gibson to PRS and Taylor, some of these guys have like jam basements too. And what's really neat is they've made it like sort of family friendly. And like they have like their kids are starting to play. Like one of my good friends, he works for one of these companies, and his son's like really into it and is now asking his dad to jam, which I'm like, oh, how cool is that? I think his son plays, it's either bass or drums. His son plays drums because this guy plays bass, and he's got these cool vintage Gibson basses and everything, and his son's like rocking out like, hey Dad, have you ever heard of like this band? Like, and Dad's like, yeah, I've heard of the Rolling Stones.
Dad, they're so cool. They're new.
Yeah, I just heard about them, Dad. You wouldn't know about these guys.
So in my little jam corner, I have a couch.
Oh yeah, seating is important.
Because my son, and occasionally my daughter, but mostly my son, likes to come out, sit on the couch, do random things, make noise, but he now wants drums.
Yes.
In fact, I think we're looking at drums for the upcoming birthday.
Problems.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to rearrange. That's my biggest problem.
This jam room is getting small. And space like consumption is a problem. Don't go crazy on like the whole sound like muting stuff. That's gonna happen with all your tapestries and your couches and anything anyway. You don't need to sound ISO it too much unless you're in a shed, like a metal shed.
Unless you're in your own actual metal shed, or if you're really recording, maybe. But if it's just your jam room,
yeah, I don't think you need to go deep on that. No. It's but seating is important. You got to factor in seating that can handle heavier people too, because a lot of times there's the people you jam with are bigger, so you want to make sure that it's not. We have chairs that we've had like the chairs break in our jam room. Like we've seen people just say, we had it happen like the other week, and it was like it was a pretty sturdy chair, I thought. But
turns out maybe not.
The guy's girth took it out, man. He's like,
I always pick my chairs carefully. In the guitar shop, I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like, we have a few like flimsy because we have an old vintage shop, and like there's like vintage like 1950s chairs, and like some of them aren't built for 2020 sized people. They're built for 1950 sized people.
That weigh like 138 pounds.
That's how much a grown man should weigh, in my opinion. I'm just slightly overweight then. Like, oh, it's depressing.
I weigh a little more than that.
Just slightly. So like comfortable seating. Lighting is key though. Like you don't want to have like the fluorescent overheads. That just ruins the vibe. You get lava lamp. Gigantic touch. Like who doesn't want to feel like Cream is in the room with you?
I do.
I mean, yeah. It's like Cream to like Dave Chappelle playing Prince. A TV is vital too, I think.
Or Rick James.
Rick James. I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I was watching him the other day on HBO, and Joe Rogan popped up on it when Joe Rogan was doing Fear Factor. Just for like, I was like, oh yeah, Joe Rogan with hair and he's young.
That's right, because he goes on Fear Factor. That's right.
Dave Chappelle did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never watched Fear Factor.
No. Like it's a skit.
Oh, okay.
And the skit on the Chappelle, there is I've forgotten that. There's
I refuse to watch Fear Factor.
Where Dave Chappelle's character on Fear Factor.
It just looks disgusting to me. Yeah, I was listening to them talking about how they got canceled, and I was like, I have no interest in that show ever. But I think a TV would be really a cool idea in your jam room if you have the space for it, because that way you can be like playing like music videos like on silent, like while you guys are jamming, you start feeling the vibe.
Now this is an advanced move.
Okay, go.
But the guy I was telling you about, the drummer, right? So one whole wall is like a giant TV screen, but it's covered with a tapestry. So you pull the tapestry up thing, there's the TV, right?
Whoa.
And if you're like, oh, we're gonna jam, and everybody's like, oh, we don't know this song, bam, there it is.
See, that
chords
is
and
cool.
words.
Wow. Like, because in my old days of like jamming, like there was not the option for that.
No.
So you better know the song when you show up.
You better know the song, but
that's
you want
cool.
The lyrics to.
No, like
Purple Rain,
one of our guys
is.
like pull up something. Now they have this software, like it'll play backing tracks with you while it shows you the chords. It was like, this is too complicated for you. Can we just wing this?
What if we just played music? But
That,
whatever.
I know. Some people don't like to do that. No, you got the fancy technology TVs, the lighting though, your overhead lighting. Tame that off. Get some cool lamps. Doesn't have to be lava lamps. Get some cool vintage lamps. I have my grandmother's lamps all over the place. I love that stuff. Just the kind of old 1950s lamps that don't put off much light, might catch on fire. Like it.
Perfect. Check.
Carpet is probably important. You know, like a cool rug, you know, just to have that in there.
That's right.
Peripherals, if your band is of the ilk that likes to do other things, like from the 60s.
Like crochet.
Like crochet. That's all I'll say there. That's a thing I've seen in many jam rooms, and then the jam sort of stops pretty quickly too.
Yes.
But that's part of music. That's part of the vibe of that, you know.
It could be.
And so that's an option as well.
Also.
What else do you think? Anything else we're missing?
I feel like we are missing something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what else is there in the jam world? That's where we need your help. Out there, you got to help us, because there's all sorts of things in the jam room that we're probably missing. Because we don't get to jam as much as we would like to.
Sadly, no.
You jam by yourself a lot more than anybody.
I do jam by myself a lot.
I just jam doing demos, it seems. Like,
Because people don't like me. I have to sit in my room by myself.
You do sit in your room by yourself.
That's sad.
In your she shed.
Is it sad or is it by design?
Like, if anybody like knows how to crochet, like Jonathan's she shed would be a great crocheting gift for him for his birthday that's coming up. I don't know what his
Or a
birthday is.
nice cross stitch.
A cross stitch. I don't even know what that is, but sure, a cross stitch would be fine too. We asked Derek's son to do that for us. Yeah, so seriously, let us know what we're missing in the jam room. We think everybody's got to build a jam room if you can. Like, if your husband will let you, if your wife will let you, like, find a room in the house, find the garage. You might be a 45-year-old man that's playing the garage still.
Done.
That's okay. That's me, not you. You're not young. You're younger than me. So, but anyway, let us know.
Thank you guys for listening to us ramble. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you don't miss videos in the future. Thanks so much.
God bless Led Zeppelin.